So Guruji, tell us, what is Kalasa and why is your work so critical?
Well, Kailasa is an abode of love. Why do we call it the abode of love? Because, when we came onto this planet and when God created this earth, actually God was trying to express his love for creation. Okay. And this love he wanted to share with more beings, that there should be more beings to love, to, to with whom God could share this love and they could receive this love and they in turn could share this love with the whole of creation. So we can say that uh, Kailasa, which in the Hindu or the Sanatana Dharma tradition, is also seen as the home of Lord Shiva, where Shiva and his family, which is his consort Parvati, and his two sons, Ganesha and Kartikeyan, they live together as one, despite the fact that each one of them is so different from each other. In fact, there are so many things within this family which are contradictory in nature, and yet they live in absolute love and harmony. And that is precisely how this world has been created. Each one of us is so distinct, so different from each other. We speak different languages, we have different cultures, we have different traditions, right? And the way we look at life is also so different. But yet, we all are living in the same planet. We are sharing the same resources. We are sharing the same five elements. So, how do we live together and share what this earth or this planet has to offer without trying to kill each other and without trying to abuse this planet? And to me, the answer comes through love. And Kailasa to me is a metaphor of where contradictory and distinct and separate forces can come together, and when they share this common love for each other, they can be together. Okay. And why it is really critical, and especially at this time, because as we know, the world is going through a lot of strife. There is a war at every corner. There are people who are trying to steal from each other, trying to snatch from each other. There is a lot of hatred now. And for the survival of our planet, for the survival of this world, it is important that this love, which is inherent in each one of us, comes up and brings the world together as one world, one family. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, as our Vedas have exhorted. So, this is the time when we need to come together in that one family of love, and we call it Kailasa. In fact, that's a name that my master, Satya Sai Baba, gave to me when he said the time will come when the world will come together as one family of love, and the name of your retreat is Kailasa.
So tell us, how do people connect with you? Like, what do you offer?
Uh, you see, the basic gift that I have to share with everyone, including you, is love. My master had told me almost 12 years back that I'm giving you a gift for which saints and sages have been meditating in the Himalayas. And but you are a special soul to whom I have bestowed this gift, and I am giving you the gift of divine love. And you will carry this gift to every corner of the world, and you will spread the message of love. And you, through you, my energy of love will reach out to to all my children. So, so that's all that I got, and that is all that I have to share, right? But let me, ask you, how do you connect to me? Because of course you came all the way from England, seeking something. So, and you've been here now for almost 3 months. So, what is your connect?
So I came to you through the Pathless Path program, the 40 Days of Kalasa, which a friend had sent me the link for. And when I was doing it, the energy, just by watching the videos, was really high, and I could tell that I was already vibrating at a different level. And the irony was that I was supposed to be going to Mount Kailash, but I broke my leg, and then I ended up at Kailasa. Something in me said I have to come, so I asked Denise if I could come, and 2 weeks later I did. And then since then I've done the 21-day intensive program with you, intensively. About connection, there's clearly a very strong energetic connection. There's a lot of energy coming from you. There's been a huge transformation in the last few weeks on this 21-day intensive. And as you say, it's all about love. And my quest has always been the search for that love, pure unconditional love. So coming here was the most obvious, natural thing to do. And I can definitely say that I have experienced that as a result of being with you and doing the intense sadhana with you too.
So there you go. That answers your question. Kalasa is about love. I am about love. And that's what actually the whole creation is all about. It's about love.
So you've spoken a lot about the golden age. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, the golden age is the age of pure unconditional love, and we are all heading towards that time where this love is going to start flowing. And the golden age has been spoken about by a lot of masters. My master too spoke about it, and he had said that there will be a time when unconditional love will flow, and the way to know that this age has come will be that there will be 4 indicators of that. One is that people will start talking the language of the heart. There will be only one religion, and that will be the religion of love. There will be one caste, and the caste of humanity, and that there will be an awareness in everyone that there is only one God, and that God is all pervasive. So the reason why we are talking more and more about this golden age is because the time has come for humanity to step into the golden age, where the human consciousness is being raised to a higher level, when man will experience the divine love in their heart. And that's the message that my master gave me, that divine love that I have given you as a gift, that divine love will activate, will awaken people into the divine love they hold in their hearts. So we are all energetic beings, and we have a certain frequency at which we vibrate, and this energy needs to be lifted to a purer dimension of what we call as unconditional love. And as that energy rises, the vibration about us changes, and the vibration in people around us change, the vibration in the nature changes, in the flora, in the fauna, and in the five elements. So, and that is how this whole planet starts to change and takes its place in that beautiful era of what we call as the golden age. Golden mean that it is pure. It is as pure as a newborn's love for the mother and the mother's love for the newborn baby. And Kailasa right now is our endeavor to bring this world together, first in an energetic community of love, and then create a center where all these beings who are resonating and vibrating in this energy of pure love, when they come together, they create a force field of this pure love. And in that force field, all those people who are seeking this transformation, when they will come, they will start experiencing an expansion of their heart, and they will start to experience this higher states of consciousness. And as they get transformed and they go back to their countries, to their homes, they will start to transform all the beings around. So that's what is the golden age, and that is what is my endeavor. That is the job that has been given to me by consciousness, and that's what Kalasa, the abode of love, is all about.
So self-love seems to be a buzzword, and we hear that until we love ourselves, we can't love others. So can you tell us what it means and how do we achieve it?
Self-love is quite explanatory, self-explanatory. It's the love for the self, right? And what it essentially means is that in our heart, the resident energy, or you can say the resident feeling, some people confuse it with an emotion, is of love. And this love, which is who we truly are, the essence of a being, is actually love. And for somehow, because we have all been operating in this world and in this age of consciousness from our mind, and the mind is really dark and dense, and in the mind holds these judgments, opinions, likes, dislikes, and the mind has a story for everything. And we've got so used to these stories that have been given to us by by our society, by our teachers, by our parents, by the whole ecosystem, that we've believed these stories to be true, and therefore we're all operating in a kind of a box, right? And we're trapped in this box. But the heart does not recognize any of these boxes, and the heart is where all the experience of this energy lies, right? And this, as I said, the base energy that's lying in our heart is love. And that's why we say that, when we talk about love, we talk about the heart, right? And when we awaken to this love which is inside of us, and when I say love, it is not this bodily love that we are used to when we look at our relationships, when we say we love someone, when we are referring to a form of a person or to certain attributes of a person. I don't talk about that love. That's a touchy-feely love. I'm talking about the love which is selfless, which is unconditional, and which flows to everyone, not to a particular few. That love is what all of us are all about. That love is what we say is divinity. That love is what we call as consciousness. That love is what we call as God. And that God called love is inside each one of us. And the only way for us to step in and to claim that love, which is our truth, is to get ourselves released from the clutches of the mind, of this preconceived world of ideas, notions, beliefs, judgments, and stories that we are caught up in. The minute this mind silences, then the energy of the heart starts to flow out naturally, spontaneously, and effortlessly.
So, what do you think our purpose is on this planet?
That's a good question. We all have a purpose for which we have come, and this purpose is to experience the truth of ourselves, right? And this truth is about our true nature, who we truly are, and to actually we are divine beings. We are incarnations of love, right? That's our essential nature, and we know about it before we come to this planet. But this planet called Earth is the only place where we can actually experience it for ourselves. Because as we know, theoretically knowing about something is one thing, but you have to experience it, self-experience. Then only you know what it is really about, right? So all beings have to come onto planet Earth to experience this divine love, to experience the divine love within us as our truth. I often refer to it as a light. In each one of us, rises or is resident the light, and this light is the light of love. And this love, which is the basis of the creation, which is the basis of all that exists, not only just on our planet, but the entire creation. This can be experienced only when we come to planet Earth, when we take a human birth, and that's the reason we come. And our journey of life is about evolution from a more limited consciousness to a all-pervading consciousness, to an expansive consciousness where we start experiencing this love not just in ourselves but actually in all the beings around us, in the nature around us, and in all that is visible and invisible, all that is sentient and insentient.
Okay, so what does one consciousness mean? And how do I become one with consciousness? What steps should I take?
So one consciousness essentially is this all-pervading, energetic experience of love, okay? Because as I said, that love is the resident energy through which this creation was created, through which all the beings were created, all the planets were created, and including you and me, we were all created out of this. So this is the underlying common thread of our existence, okay? And we call it consciousness. And this is one, because like you and I have different bodies, we have different names. So this body is called Vikass, you're called Vaneeta. We are just like ornaments. All ornaments are essentially made of gold, but some ornaments which we wear on our wrists, on our arms, we call it a bangle. or a bracelet, and something that we wear on our neck, we call it a chain or a necklace, right? So essentially, both a necklace and a bracelet are nothing but gold. Same way, Vikas and Vaneeta are essentially nothing but manifestations of love, embodiments of love. So, and this oneness is this consciousness, okay? And the only way to experience this one consciousness is when we transcend the mind, experience ourselves as not the body mind duo, but actually an energetic entity which is vibrating on a certain frequency, and as it starts operating more from the heart center, it starts to experience this deep peace. This peace brings contentment. This contentment then, starts bringing us love, and we start feeling love for ourselves and love for all of our creation. And we start to melt in this love, and this love starts to ooze out of us. This love can be experienced by others, and in the form of a light on our face. Our face lights up, our eyes light up, and our expression becomes so gentle and compassionate. And we realize that this life is not about ourselves, it's about others. And when you see that acknowledgement of your glow, of this one consciousness in their eyes and in their face, that's when you truly know that you've become one with this consciousness.
So, am I glowing, Guruji?
Yes, you are at this moment, you're absolutely glowing. Yeah? But you also stop glowing when your mind kicks in. And you have to be just aware of that the switch of glow on your face is in your hands. And if you are aware of this, that all the heaviness that you experience in life comes only when the mind kicks in. And if you can put the light of awareness on the mind, then the mind will never come out. And you keep operating from your heart center. And when you do, you will be a perfect manifestation of divine consciousness. So the choice is in your hands, the switch is in your hands. It's up to you to experience that love or to experience the heaviness of the world. Everyone has a choice. And that's what we have come here to experience.
So when you say to shine the light of awareness on it, what do you mean? How do I do that?
Is when you become aware, right? Awareness. Remember, there's something that I have said in Atma Chalisa, that in each one of us, on our third eye, there is actually a light, right? A light of knowledge. Okay? And that light of knowledge is there with us, and if we choose to focus this light of knowledge through our awareness, if we put that light of knowledge on anything, all darkness will disappear. So mind kicks in when we operate out of our ignorance and when we are not aware of our truth, of who we truly are. When we see ourselves as a body-mind apparatus which has made us successful in this world, if we operate out of that, then all the heaviness comes in. But the minute we throw the light of our awareness, of the knowledge that we are not this body and mind, but we are using this body and mind to carry the truth of ourselves, which is the energy of pure love. When we step into that mode, suddenly we are able to experience that peace and that contentment and that happiness that I talked about. So truly, we have this ability to throw the light of awareness on any particular circumstance and issue, are you going to view it as a body mind, or are you going to view it as a being who is operating out of this one consciousness, the consciousness of love, right? And the minute you're just alert to this, all this darkness goes away. And that is how all beings are going to live in the golden age. It's not that in golden age we will not have mind. It is not that in golden age we will not have different ideas. But when these different and conflicting and sometimes contradictory ideas will come, we'll be able to view them from our truth. And then everything becomes a non-issue. You start to view everything through compassion and love and understanding, and you're in acceptance. Yeah? And that is the whole idea of Kailasa. That it is not that we are all going to be, similar. We are not going to be similar because we are not similar. We've been created differently by God. But we come together in love. Love is the bridge that connects us and that holds us together. And we can freely move over this bridge of love and connect to everybody in this universe. That's the whole idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And that is where we are now traveling towards. And that's why we need to take charge and move towards this golden age, so that we can show to the world. We are the harbingers of this light. We have been given this task to step into this light and show to humanity, encourage them, motivate them, inspire them that this can be done. And that when enough of us walk together in it, then there are more who come, and then the more will come, and it will start to change the consciousness of the planet, right? So we are present in a very important time of the planetary evolution of this, the evolution of this planet and the evolution of this consciousness, to a time where we are moving from a lower, darker, denser energy of what we call as the Kali age, right, to our materialistic age, into a more purer and a higher energetic frequency of love, selflessness, sharing, and caring about everybody as if they are a part of our own family.
So, is self-realization actually possible? Or is it a myth, or just saved for a chosen few?
Actually, I feel that self-realization is also a very misunderstood concept, and therefore, because of that, it sounds like a very heavy word. So, if you look at the word itself, it has two parts to it. One is self, and the other is realization. The self is, as we know, the self, right? It's easy. Realization means to realize who we truly are. Realize means that it is something that is already there, but because of some reason, because of ignorance, we are not in realization of that truth of the self. Okay, so of course everybody has come here in this planet, has taken birth only to realize their true self. That's the purpose of human birth on this planet, right? So it's not a myth, it is a reality. It's for what we have come here, and actually it is our birthright. Self-realization is the birthright of every human being. And when we experience this truth, remember, our Vedas and Upanishads and all the religious texts of various religions in the world, they talk about similar concepts of what life is all about. Okay, but and therefore these books and various traditions of various masters have held this knowledge so that these could be guideposts for humanity as they step into this journey of life. But it pretty much remains as knowledge which is not either fully understood or for some reasons is not fully practiced, and because we do not practice it, we do not get the experience, because the experience, remember, will come only if you practice something. It's just like being in a laboratory, right? We go to a laboratory, and in that laboratory we do an experiment, and then there's a result of that experiment, right? So only when you actually do something, the result will come out. So same way, if there is knowledge about the self, but this knowledge is not put into practice, then of course we will not get any result. And because we don't get any result, we do not have any experience. And because we do not experience it, we do not have a realization of ourselves. So it's actually very simple. And therefore, to give people this understanding, I was inspired by the consciousness to create a 40-day program called the Atma Chalisa Parayanam. And in these 40 days, we actually simplify what life is all about, what are certain laws of life, and how they impact our journey in a human birth, right? And how by following certain simple steps, we can actually all experience the truth of ourselves, which is that we are the embodiments of love and joy. And this is actually as I said, is not a preserve for a chosen few, and it has remained with the chosen few because those chosen few actually stepped out and they started to practice this path, right? Because the path of this material world has been a path of self-achievement, self-accomplishment, self-aggrandizement, and therefore selfishness. But the path towards this experience of this pure love, unconditional love, is the path of selflessness, which means you have to minus the self in you so that the self gets lessened and it becomes selfless. So this is the reason why many have not been able to experience it, because they have found it difficult to go against the flow of what formula this world has given to us, the formula of the mind and body, and to follow the experiential path of selflessness. And those who have chosen to do it have experienced it, and therefore through this Atma Chalisa and the 21-day intensive, we're trying to help people, to show them that actually it is far more easier than they think. And for those souls who are ready and who are wanting to experience this truth, then we are going to help them experience that light, because this light is very essential at this time on this planet, because the planet is going through a really dark phase, and the more light beings who can come and join this work, the more light will come, and we'll all be able to step into the golden light of the golden age, when everyone becomes selfless and everyone understands and accommodates and encourages others on experiencing the truth of their selves, and we can come and live together in love, in peace, and in harmony.
So, how did you know that you were supposed to be doing this work?
Uh, frankly, I didn't have a clue, and it's when I met my master, Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. He started to take a lot of interest in me for some reason, and he gave me visions, he gave me understanding of a glorious future, and just by the sheer attention he gave me, I realized that I was a part of that future, and then through saints, sages, dreams, guidances, he started to instruct me to experience his presence within. He used to always tell me that you and I are one, and that oneness I started to experience as an intuitive presence within, which was constantly guiding. And as the master gave me glimpses of the future, he also took me through a journey of detaching from the outer world, and started to take me into a much more intense and inner journey, where I had to learn to let go of all so-called security and comforts and attachments of the world, and only then I could experience the truth and the wisdom in his words and the words of the other masters. Because as I said, this path is a path of experience. Unless you experience it firsthand, unless you go through every bit of the path by yourself, you will not know what every step means, and all the fears and insecurities are actually coming from because it's a unknown journey. Because the journey of the mind is the journey of known, and the journey of the heart is the journey into the unknown. And so, since there is no roadmap in front of you, you have to have faith and complete trust in your master and in your master's guidance. And if in my case, it was not a physical guidance, it was an inner guidance that came, and that allowed me, that faith in the master allowed me to have no doubts about what the master was telling me, even though it was coming from within. I knew it was coming from that message of oneness that he always gave me, and in that the experience started to come. Because remember, when people tell you some things, you can always, if you perceive it from your mind, then how you interpret is based upon your perception, and the matrix that you are part of, and how we all view things from our preconceived filters. But when you have an actual experience, then the truth becomes evident to you, right? When you walk the path, the truth comes to you. And when you experience that love inside of you, and when you experience that happiness, that stays with you at all times, then you realize how beautiful this is. And you realize that you are almost duty bound. It's actually your dharma to share this joy and to share this love with others. And that's when you realize how every master who has helped humanity over ages has left their own comforts and left their own individuality and their individual choices, and have stepped in to be there for others. and they have helped thousands and millions. And that is what makes this flow of consciousness works. And and then you realize that life is not about yourself, it's about others. It's not about what you get, it's about what you give. It's not about your own personal things, it's about sharing with others. And this, once you understand, once you experience it firsthand, then there are no doubts left that this is what you have to do. Right? When my master told me way back in 2008 about this, I perhaps did not believe it. But now, with this experience, I know it's the truth.
Why is meditation so important, and what advice would you give to people who struggle to meditate?
Meditation is actually very essential on this path, because as I have shared that in my own journey, all the understanding of this path of experiencing the truth of the self, whether we call it self-realization or the experience of this state of happiness and this love, is actually a path of inner guidance, right? And of intuitive knowledge that comes to you from within. And for that, the outside chatter has to stop, right? We are so used to a world where there is so much of talking, and now we are addicted to social media like YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. We're constantly in the noise of the world, and in the noise we do not experience any inner voice or inner guidance or inner insights. And for that reason, we need to become silent. We have to stop that chatter. And that is where meditation comes in. Meditation is a systematic process of A, becoming silent, B, focusing your sense organs within. And as you withdraw these five senses from the external world and you bring them in, you turn them inwards, the same five senses get heightened and they work equally well in the inner dimension as they are working in the outer dimension. The only difference is in the outer dimension we've trained them through a school, through a university, and through our world of work, and these five senses are trained and tuned to pick up things from the outside. But in meditation, when we sit silently, we start to bring these senses inwards, and as we start getting into a habitual practice of doing it systematically, then these senses start to pick the language inside each one of us is also a language, right? There is some things going on inside, and so essentially this is what meditation tries to do. And in that we bring a focus point. We either focus on our third eye, which is a point in the center of our eyebrows on our forehead, or we bring our attention to the heart chakra, and we start to bring our attention onto our breathing. And slowly, as we at a given time every day systematically start to sit in this meditation, our mind starts silencing and we start getting attuned to the inner world. And as we, through our meditation, becomes deeper, as we start to go into the layers of silence, we go deeper and deeper into the silence, we start experiencing a presence within. We start to experience the presence of an energy, an intuitive source of knowledge, and as these insights come to us and as we contemplate upon them, we start to get this courage to put them into practice. So meditation is essentially a process to connect to your inner self, to your deeper self, and based on what you are experiencing, you then start to practice them in your life, and slowly the experience of that practice brings joy in you, and you start to look forward to these times of your silence, of meditation. And to all those who run away from meditation, I simply tell them to first start becoming silent, that they should fix a time of the day, either in the morning or in the evening, when there is no external noise. Sit in silence and bring your attention to either your breathing or to your third eye or to any object where they can concentrate for a while. And the reason we do that initially is because if you focus on your breathing, your mind becomes thoughtless, because the focus of the mind goes on breathing. If you bring your attention to an object, or looking at a flame, or looking at the tip of your nose, or trying to look at your third eye from within, your mind becomes thoughtless. And slowly over a period of time, as you grow in your length of your meditation, right, start to witness your thoughts. Don't worry, let the thoughts come. Don't try to control them. Don't try to stop them. Don't try to force. Become a witness of those thoughts, and slowly you will experience that the chatter of the mind starts withdrawing, right? And you start to experience a certain sense of stillness inside of you, and that stillness is very empowering, and it brings you a great joy from within. It's actually, after a while, you start to look forward to your times of silence and times of your meditation, because that is when your soul starts getting nourished, and that nourishment is so essential. And soon what seems difficult starts becoming a joyous experience, and we start to look forward to it.
Wow, you make it sound really amazing.
Yes, it is actually. What's your experience? You've been now experiencing, we've been doing our silent meditation every night for many months now. So what's your experience? How your meditation has progressed?
So, from when I first sat with you, I noticed a change in my meditation. It became extremely deep and focused. I could really feel the energy in my body, and it became quite effortless. And as you know, I can sit there for a really long time, and in that time, I'm gone. It's really beautiful. And most recently, since doing the 21 days sadhana, it's been different. Now I feel energy rising through the body up to the top of my head, which is a new and wonderful experience.
Yeah. So what you're saying essentially is that in your meditative journey, because even before you came here, you've been meditating. So your meditation, the quality of your meditation has been changing, right?
Yeah.
And so from where you were to what you're experiencing now, it has shifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because before I would focus on the breath, and that would be like my anchor. And at times it wouldn't be as deep. So there were deep experiences and not so deep experiences, whereas since I've come here it seems to be constant and it's deeper, and I'm not focusing on the breath. I feel more in this area, not the breath so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, and you see that the other interesting things that you would have noted is not just you're sitting, you're here in my physical proximity and you're experiencing it, but you see, every night people join from all over the world, right? And they are also experiencing, having similar experiences as you, right? And they are also experiencing this energetic shift, right? So just imagine what's the power of this energy, that if you start to align everybody into the power of that one consciousness, that love, how this can be experienced by people no matter where they are, in which time zone, in which country, no matter what language they speak, what religion they follow, right? What are their political ideas, it doesn't matter, right? There is this one consciousness, there is this one energy, right? And the ability to get everybody together at that chosen time, because before that people are maybe struggling with their own issues in their life, right? But when at that moment when they come together and we sit together and it's silent, right? So everybody starts to become one with that energy, and that energy starts to speak to each one of them individually, and everybody has an individual experience, right?
Yeah, we've heard some amazing stories of people's experiences during meditation. They're really phenomenal, actually.
So that tells us the power of meditation.
And that too, like you said, it can be even remotely. It's just really powerful. I have a question. How do we know, you were talking earlier about this intuitive sense or voice inside, how do we know when it's intuitive voice or when it's the mind speaking to us?
Yeah, this you get to know over a period of time, and this experience will come to you as you progress in your meditation. When the thoughts are still coming, when your mind is still active, you will know that it is coming from your mind. But as you start slowly stilling your mind and you go deeper into your practice, then you know that it is not the thought, because the mind is actually not throwing anything at you, okay? And then through this silence, through this stillness, when something comes, it's coming from your intuitive power and not coming from your mind. And initially you might get it wrong, but then the only way to find it is by listening to it, right? As I said, that life is a great game, right? It's a great experiment. So what's the harm if, let's say, a thought has come to you from your mind and you've done it? Your experience is going to tell you whether it came, it was just your mind talking, or was it a deeper. And then you would know that, when this happens, it's actually the mind talking. But essentially, I have experienced and I have guided so many people on this process, that when they go really still, and then when they start experiencing the deep states of meditation, which you also have shared now, you're beginning to experience. When you sit in that stillness, from that stillness what emerges is the intuitive knowledge, is the intuitive power, or the inner guru as we call it. That's when the connection gets established, and you start to be fed, you start to be guided from the one source of consciousness.
And we've had that experience recently, haven't we? The other day when you said something and I said to you, oh yeah, I had that thought just a minute ago. And then I reflected and I told you later that I not only had the same thought as you, but then I'd also, the quality of that thought was the same, the detail in that thought was the same.
Yeah. So essentially what happens is that there is this one source, which is we call as consciousness. And that has everything is being recorded there, everything is being carried there. And that, thought is being
received by, it's being beamed in the consciousness, and those who are connected to it are receiving it. And that's how it operates. That's how we say, God is omniscient, right? Omnipresent. What does omnipresence and omniscience mean? It is just this, that the God knows everything, right? We say, the Guru knows everything that's going on. How? Because the Guru is connected to that one field of consciousness. You are not connected, therefore you don't receive it. But as you become one, and this consciousness is inside of you, and as you connect within, you get connected to everything. Actually, it's scientific. And it's very beautiful that how this one consciousness knows everything. And that's how when I conduct my sessions, and I have so many people approaching me, I do not have a script. I've never prepared for a topic. You know it. You've sat with me. We are talking something, and some information starts to come, right? Where does it come from? It doesn't come from a script. It doesn't come from a book. It doesn't come from having read something. It doesn't come from memory. It comes from the source, and from there all this information comes. So therefore I don't need to remember things. Therefore no use of memory. I do not have to go prepare myself for anything that has to happen, because I am who I am. I am that one consciousness, and which is what my master told me in 2008, that you and I are one, right? So that oneness is not a physical oneness. It is the oneness of consciousness, that the same consciousness that resides in my master also resides in me. And if I believe, then I can tap that same consciousness. I believed my master. I had faith in my master to the simplest of all the teachings. And I started to experience this one consciousness. And to experience it, all I had to do was to throw the chatter of my mind off and to completely detach myself from all the constructs of the mind that had made me successful in life. All that had given me the name and glory and fame, that I had in the material world. I had to throw away, because they were all driven from the mind. So that I could live a life from the connection to this consciousness. And once you do that, everything just flows, because there is no duality. There is only this one consciousness, and this one consciousness is present all the time. It doesn't sleep, it doesn't it doesn't awaken, it doesn't die, it does not fall sick. It is the only thing which has existed, which is existing, and which will always exist. And this is who I am, this is actually who you are, and this is what is the game of life all about.
Okay, so you've mentioned twice now that life is a game. What does it mean to the regular person, and how do they play this game of life?
Okay, first of all, game by its very invention was something which was to entertain us, right? So there is a element of joy that we receive or we experience when we play a game or we watch a game. Okay, so that's the first and most fundamental thing about a game. The other thing about a game is that in a game there are when you're playing it, there are no stakes attached. Yeah, everybody tries to win the game, but at the end of the day, game after the game is over, it was a game, right? And you don't get involved to it. You may be involved for a duration of the game or for a little bit more, but then that it was just a game, right? Win or lose. So there is an element of joy. There is an element that there are no stakes involved in a game, right? And that makes it enjoyable, really. But in a game also, that there are rules of game, right? And that's what makes it enjoyable. So when you watch a game of soccer,
the viewer knows what are the rules of this game. Okay, and then everybody has to play, within those rules. Now, life, if you look at it, actually also is like a game, because the end of this game also is to experience joy. Our Veda says it's all about Satchitananda, right? Sat is the truth of ourselves, being this energetic body, being this energetic presence. Chit is to be aware of it, right? That the body mind apparatus is not the truth of ourselves, because that is perishable, and so therefore, and then this awareness of this truth that we are that's the energetic beings brings us happiness, because suddenly all the stakes vanish, because all the stakes are attached to the body, and because this body has a name and body has relationships. I'm a father of so and so, I am a brother of so and so, I'm a son of so and so, I am a husband of so and so, and like that, and therefore I have, this body has certain properties, has certain attachments to things, so it's all to do with the body. But the minute, and that's what are our stakes, that's what makes this life a little heavy and turbulent. But the minute the truth we start to experience that actually we are this energetic beings, and which is not subject to death, disease and decay, and therefore it is imperishable, that understanding frees us from these limitations, from these stakes, and suddenly we start experiencing that joy or happiness, because it's like a game then, and you realize that everybody who's with you in life, as your family or your co-workers, are the other players in this game, right? Each one is trying to win their own game, okay, and each one, which is the game of experiencing the truth of yourself, and each one is also supporting the other to reach there. Therefore, every experience that we have in our life helps us to go towards that, right? So there is a sense of joy in it. It is a team game, because while everybody is going here to a common goal, but everybody is also supporting each other. It's like it's like in soccer, you're passing the ball so that finally the goal can be scored. It doesn't matter who's going to score. Every day somebody does score, right? And actually what makes the game of life even more enjoyable than any other game is that while there are rules of a game of soccer, and it is known unequivocally to everybody, including the players and the spectators, but the rules of the game of life are not very well known to people, right? And therefore we kind of bungle and plunder our way through life, and therefore we get some whacks on the way, right? But our whole effort of what we are trying to do through Kailasa, and what I am playing, the role of through the Atma Chalisa, the 40 days program to self-realization, or the intensive 21-day sadhana that we have, is to help people to see these rules of this game of life clearly, unequivocally, right? And given in those parameters, how do we become a skilled player of life and achieve the goal, which is self-realization, or the experiencing this pure selfless divine love inside each one of us.